Hello and welcome back to my nail corner. Today I have a package from Virgo and Gem. You guys have definitely heard their name on my channel before, but this is the package I received. It has instructions on the back of the card, and I just love it when brands include that so that if you're a new dipper, you have good, straightforward instructions for the process. These are their dip liquids, which again, you already know I love because you see me use them a lot, but I need some fresh ones, so I got a fresh set. And then these are the colors that were in my package. So those three purples on the right, I think are going to make the most beautiful combo, so expect to see that on my nails in the near future. That kind of light gray, slight purple toned color is called Dubai, and I think that would be gorgeous this spring. And then those three on the left there are what you're going to see today. So they are two cream or solid colors, whatever you want to call them, and then a gorgeous flake. So Virgo and Gem just released a bunch of new colors, and they had several flakes in that release. They are stunning, so if you don't have any Virgo and Gem colors, make sure you hop over onto their website, check them out. You won't regret them. I'm always impressed with the quality of their product, and like I said, their liquids are definitely in my top 3 liquids of all time. And honestly, those top 3 that I always name when people ask for recommendations, they're like a tie. Like, I could not pick one above the other. In some situations, I'll reach for different liquids for different reasons, and Virgo and Gem is an easy go-to for me. In particular, if I am doing a mani that I know might require 4 dips, like maybe I'm doing a scrub ombre and I know there's a possibility I'm going to want to do like more scrubbing, so an extra layer and then my clear cap, or like a double clear cap if I have a chunky glitter or something like that, I tend to reach for my Virgo and Gem liquids because they are the thinnest base that I've come across, which is crazy because when I'm using them, they don't necessarily, I don't know how to explain it, you guys. So the viscosity is what I'm referring to. It's not like thin, like watery. So when I'm applying it, it's very smooth. It stays where you put it, but it has, I don't know, just a really thin application. So in the end, if you look at your nail from like the tip straight down the barrel of your nail, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's just a very thin application. So in particular, it is really nice if you're applying over an overlay. Like I have builder gel on my nails, so that adds a little bit of thickness to my nails. And I never hesitate to use Virgo and Gem. Even if I need 4 dips, it's not going to feel too thick on my nail. So if you haven't tried them, definitely consider them. I recommend them. I have a discount code below for Virgo and Gem, so feel free to use that. And then, like I said, and as you're seeing, their powders are just gorgeous. They are super creamy, soft powders, a really great application. Now, you're going to see something here, and I want to tell you what you're seeing. I had my last Virgo and Gem base was super, super low, and so I went into autopilot and was applying my base as though my bottle was almost empty, and so I flooded my cuticle. So what you're seeing here is how I would fix that. So it's good for you guys because I know that that's something that happens quite often. So I went ahead and used my cleanup tool, in this case my water marble tool. If you have an orange wood stick, then use that, and just went around the edge kind of repeatedly and got all the excess product off that I needed to. And when I could see that the liquid had absorbed the powder in my that I had already dipped into, but then the nail looked wet again, I just dipped into that powder a second time. So if you ever find yourself doing that, don't panic. Just go ahead and clean up that cuticle line with whatever tool you're using, and then you can just make sure to file it nice and clean when you're in your filing process. So it happens to all of us. I've been dipping 4.5 years, and every now and again I still over apply my base, mostly in this circumstance when I pull out like a brand new bottle and I'm just overloading the brush. Someone asked me quite a long time ago why, when they're watching my videos, when I pull any liquid brush out of the jar before I put it on my nail, apparently as a reflex, I kind of flip it over and look at the other side, and they said, "What are you looking for?" And I kind of had to think about it. I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. So the next time I was doing my nails, I paid close attention and realized that I do that, and it is specifically for that reason. I look and check how much liquid is on the brush, and that is something that, generally speaking, helps me keep from flooding my cuticle. So ever since I became aware of that, I don't know if I do it more or less. I'm less aware of it now because it is such a habit. I don't think I could stop if I wanted to. But anyway, if you see me do that, that's what I'm doing. And I think I tend to do it more when my liquid is lower in the bottle. Like if I'm running low and I kind of tip the bottle to the side to get some on my brush, I want to make sure that there's the appropriate amount of liquid on the brush before I touch it to my nail. So anyway, that was a long ramble, and maybe it didn't need to be said, but I just thought of it just then and thought, if I had checked that brush, I would have known that I had overloaded it, but apparently I wasn't paying that close attention. So we're getting into this really cute pastel blue. I'm sorry, I don't have the names listed right in front of me, but they will be in the description box below. And I thought these were really, really pretty spring colors. That pinkish purple is so gorgeous. I'm really into like lilacs and lavenders and that sort of thing for spring. So it was a really pretty, just kind of, I feel like it could go either way depending on what you put with it. And then I'm going to put that flake on my middle nail. So I am going to pop back in just a second and talk about that flake. So hang in there and I'll be right back. Okay, so I shouldn't have even gone anywhere because here I am back much quicker than I anticipated. But look at that gorgeous flakiness, you guys. It's so pretty and performed so nicely. Like, I mean, just gorgeous, gorgeous flake coverage. So I highly recommend if you're working with a flake to do this. You can either pour it out in your cupcake liner or just use a cupcake liner to catch any excess, but you want to kind of lay your nail into it upside down. And that's really just like a great way to apply flakes to your nail and then gently, gently pat them down. So I would say Virgo and Gem's base is a medium to slow drying base. So if you're doing something like this, don't go right in aggressively. You'll smear the product on your nail, but it's not like super, super slow drying, like, you know what I mean? It's just kind of in between. So I find it a great base to work with if I am doing something that needs a little bit of time, like a scrub ombre or glitter placement or things like that. So if you haven't tried them, I do highly recommend them. And then the other thing I was going to say that's really nice about them is if you are somebody who does prefer a gel top coat, then you're probably not drawn to dip liquids that you have to buy in the set of dip liquids, so base, activator, and top coat. So Virgo and Gem's liquids are available individually. And I used to exclusively use dip top coat, so that was not an issue for me. However, I would find that I would run out of certain liquids before others because, you do, at 2 to 3 dips with your base, and then you use your activator twice, but you only use your top coat once. So you might run out of your liquids at different times. So I personally was always drawn to being able to purchase dip liquids individually. Some people don't care, and that's totally fine. And at this point, I have so many liquids I couldn't run out in a lifetime. But I always do mention that when I kind of give recommendations to people. I say, are you averse to buying all 3 liquids at once? And if so, then I highly recommend Virgo and Gem for that reason, as well as the quality is fantastic. So I'm going to use my Wet n Wild eyeshadow brush, which I use for all my ombres, and I'm just going to sprinkle on that flake to the side of 2 of my nails to just create a little bit of a flowing effect from my middle nail out to the others. I love vertical ombres, you guys. I'm sure you know that already, but every time I do one, I just remember I love them so much. So I apologize if that's just a really repetitive thing for you to see, but I think it's a really pretty effect, and it's also really easy to do because I find it really easy to just find that kind of middle of your nail that direction. And it also elongates the nail. So if you have like really short nail beds and you want to make them look a little bit longer, I highly recommend a vertical ombre. And so I am going to finish up my vertical ombre on my other nail. I am going to clear cap. I have Virgo and Gem's clear dip powder, and it's the first time I've used that, and I had 0 issues. It performed great. So if you're over there shopping on the website and you need a clear dip, make sure you snag that as well. So I'm going to let you guys hang out and watch for a minute, and then I will be back to wrap this up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and activate, and I'm just going to chat at you guys for just a minute while I do that. I wanted to thank you all for being so patient. I know that I didn't upload on Wednesday, which is the first time in a year that I missed an upload, and it really messes with my OCD, but I just needed the time, you guys. So we got a lot done for my husband's grandparents, my kids' great-grandparents, and got them moved into their new place. And thank you for everyone that reached out and said I hope they're doing well, because they're doing awesome. So now we have their place ready to sell, and I'll be working on the real estate side of that, but that's the easy part. So I'm really grateful for all the support that you guys have lended, and now I should be back into it. And I have a couple of packages to go through and film for you guys. Look at that pointer finger, you guys, my index finger. It just makes me feel total cotton candy vibes. I love, love, love the way that those two colors blended together. So I'm going to get into my top coat application, but first I'm going to activate again because I've filed and buffed. So anyway, I have a few packages to go through. Gigi's Dip sent me over some stuff. They're a brand new small brand, so look forward to that. And then Dipster's Custom Dips sent me over their brand new dip liquids and a couple of colors to try out, so you'll be seeing that in the near future too. Okay, so I am just going to talk through top coat application again. I'm sorry if I sound like a broken record, but I know that top coat application is something that generally in the dip community is something that people find sometimes a struggle with to get a nice smooth dip coat application dip top coat application. My words are failing me today, you guys. So after you file and buff, you want to go ahead and apply your activator again, and then use a lint-free wipe to wipe off any excess activator from your nail. Activator is what is going to cure your top coat. So your first top coat should be in 2 to 3 quick swipes over the nail, and then you want to do a quick wipe of your brush on a paper towel or lint-free wipe before you put it back into the bottle. It's just quick, just a little swipe, but it keeps the excess activator from getting back into your top coat bottle. If you're having top coat get gunky and thick, it's because you're getting activator into your top coat and it's contaminating it, so wipe it off. Additionally, if you get a top coat brush that is hardening, you want to make sure that you're quick on your first application. So that is why you take 2 to 3 quick swipes over the nail, because if your brush lingers on your nail, it's allowing that activator to have time on the brush, and it's going to harden that brush up because it's curing the liquid on the brush. So hopefully that makes sense and helps clarify things for you. When you're using gel products, you use a lamp to cure them and harden them, but with dip products, you don't need a lamp, but activator is what's curing everything. So thin, even layers, and then so this is the second coat, and you can be much more thorough and kind of take your time, because your first coat of dip top coat has now created like a barrier between your brush and the activator. So be nice and thorough with your second coat, not like thick. Don't lay it on too thick, because then your activator, it's not enough to cure it. So it's just like a fine balance. If you find that you finish your top coat application and it's not curing, so in 2 minutes, if it's not totally dry to the touch and hardened, then you can do a couple of things. You can dab activator over it, but if you find that that gives you like not a smooth glossy look, then you can buff off the top coat, reapply your activator, and then do the top coat process again. So those are kind of your options if you get through your top coat application and it's not quite right or it's not curing. You might have forgotten that second activator. I know that when I was brand new to dip powder, that was something that like kind of slipped my mind at times. So just make sure you always get that second activator. Now I am finishing up with my Candi Skincare Cuticle Oil. As always, it is my favorite way to finish up my mani. Make sure you grab some and nourish those cuticles. There is a link or a discount code in the description box below if you need one. Thanks for being here, you guys, and I will see you in my next vid. Bye now.